Now, pretty much all of the pre-budget gossip and noise so far has been just that, gossip and noise. However, at almost the 11th hour, at last we've had some proper leaks, or in news parlance, sources at the Treasury are saying stuff, which I guess means that what we are hearing are, well, official leaks. So, what do we need to worry about? Well, the good news is that those sources haven't apparently mentioned pensions yet. There's been much talk of both cuts to tax relief on the way into pensions and limits to the amount you can take out in tax-free cash. And this talk has gone from abolishing tax-free cash altogether to reducing the limit to 100,000. And that is a possibility. But it's the public sector unions, the doctors, the civil servants, who would actually be affected most. And with any change to pensions, the knock-on effects and complications to all that's gone before, and the various protections put in place to protect what's gone before, make it, I'd say, much more difficult than they might have thought it would be. Capital gains tax does look almost certain to be changed, and for the worse, if you're likely to be paying it. Now, the rates and timeframes for paying are worse at the moment for property sales. So one option for her might be to align the tax on investment sales with the tax on property sales. The more radical option, and probably more profitable, would be to lump capital gains in with income. So you'd pay at up to 45%, or whatever the new top rate of tax turns out to be for those with the broader shoulders. There won't, I'd say, be any overnight changes, and anything that happens will take effect from the next tax year, from April, or maybe even be phased in over a couple of tax years. So, okay, the other thing Treasury sources have mentioned is inheritance tax. And although the statistics are that very few in percentage terms actually pay inheritance tax, far more people think they will have to than actually do. And this makes it probably the most disliked of all taxes, as it's taking away your hard-earned money from your family and money you've already usually paid tax on in your lifetime. So whatever they do will, I think, be more unpopular than they might think. So what are the options? Well, reducing the allowance, which is currently up to £1 million for a married couple with a home to leave to their children. Now that reduces already if you have more than £2 million, so this limit could come down. It might reduce more quickly. Maybe the rate could even go up from 40% to 50%, and the other parts being talked about are business property relief and agricultural relief. Now, agricultural relief was included in the rules to stop family farms having to be broken up to pay the tax. But many a rock star, particularly in the Cotswolds, has become a farmer as effectively a tax dodge. Is that such a bad thing? I don't know. Don't we need all the farmers we can get? Business relief, that was there to allow family businesses to be passed on, but the law is based on the size of the business rather than who owns it. So that means that many specialist providers have set up small companies with lots of investors who are there to avoid inheritance tax. It also means that investments on the alternative investment market, the AIM market for companies too small to be on the main stock exchange, also qualify. Now, changing this would actually not raise much money and would go against the mainstay policy of the current government, which is to encourage growth. And much growth needs to come from small start-up businesses. So what's the conclusion? Well, mine is that she should forget the manifesto, stick a couple of pence on income tax, and not tiddle around with all this other stuff. And I've spoken to many clients who agree with me. But I guess that's probably why I'm not the Chancellor of the Exchequer. You'll be glad to hear.